All right, we are here, KA Digital. I think it's the nice sunny day edition. We are here in May, and I'm very glad to have a special guest here with us. If you wouldn't mind just introducing yourself.
Well, sir, my name is Alvin Augustus Jones, sir.
And I believe there's a doctor in there somewhere, correct?
Yes, sir.
And so I think the way people might find you is, what's the name? What's your website?
Website is drdralvin.com.
And what does that website do? What is it all about?
It's all about the subject of wisdom. Wisdom is, I guess, dexterity mentally. It's about being able to figure things out. It's about being successful, about being your highest and best self.
And so how do you convey that? Because wisdom is a pretty heavy topic. You don't hear people just kind of dropping that word on a day-to-day basis in a conversation.
I guess it's all about creating a life that works for you. A lot of times we have information, a lot of data, a lot of things on the website, but how can you take that information and cause you to be your highest and best self? And that's what wisdom is all about, is living a successful life that's right and authentic for you.
Right. And then I know when you go, you've interviewed people
Right.
to kind of get insight into potentially what wisdom can or does look like. So how do you do that? And maybe just kind of share that process here with our listeners.
Well, there's several ways we do that. Every major PR firm in America has a relationship with me. So a lot of times if a person has a book or they are a celebrity, they get in contact with my office, and then we'll schedule a 7 to 12 minute interview. Reason why we do 7 to 12 minutes, we figure that the attention span is pretty not long, and we want to have something that a person on a daily basis can get a little nugget, a little insight into how to do something. There was a guy back in the day, a biblical character named Solomon. He studied people's success as well as their failure. So we not only look at what people do right, but also we look at what person potentially does wrong and that a person can learn from that. We believe that either you're successful or if something doesn't go the way you want, that's a teachable moment.
And I know right now, as part of our partnership, Knowledge Academies, we're doing a lot of recruitment around the top 100 immigrants that have helped make Nashville or contribute to Nashville. And so talk a little bit about that. Yeah.
Well, as you know, Music City, Nashville, is an extraordinary city. There are a lot of persons who have come here, and their story needs to be told. Back to, again, using another biblical illustration, when people spoke, they spoke in parables or stories. A way you can connect with someone is when you hear their journey. You hear their, some people call the term dash. And so there are a lot of persons who have come to Nashville, come to Music City, who are making a tremendous difference in our community. And what we want to do with Empower the Journey is to be able to give them a platform for their story to be told so that a young mind, when they see that person, they can say, oh, me too as well.
And I know we're going to have a nice little celebration to go along with all of these stories that we're calling a taste of knowledge, which you coined, I give you, it will taste the knowledge. And
so what is taste of knowledge? I'm going to ask you a question.
yeah,
sir.
so taste of knowledge is just, we like to celebrate. And so when we celebrate, we like to have food. And so it's an opportunity to not only come and eat some delicious dishes from all of these top 100 that we're interviewing, but it's also a way to network, to see all of the different opportunities, businesses, small businesses, entrepreneurs that are just in our community, and how we're all together trying to make Nashville better. That's what Taste of Knowledge is about, along with some tasty dishes and desserts and stuff.
And you know, right now it's amazing how the whole foodie revolution, the whole industry of culinary, and food is a very, very important part of our life, but it's also a place of connections, a place of fellowship. And to be able to extend our palate by having a variety of food is going to be an exciting thing.
Yeah, so you began by saying you have relationships with a lot of PR firms throughout the nation.
Right.
Who are some of the people that you've had the opportunity to interview that some of our listeners or our viewers might know about?
Well, the late Dr. Maya Angelou, we were able to talk to her. Stedman, the significant other of Oprah. We talked to legends, Hall of Famers like Gail Sayers. And then locally here in the Nashville area, we talked to various business persons. We just recently did an interview with the president, CEO, or chairman and CEO of Franklin Synergy Bank. Then we do interviews like we just did one with Patrick Johnson, who happens to be with McHarry College. So we have a variety of individuals because everyone's personality is different, and it's good to see someone else who perhaps reflects where you're going or where you've been.
And you do 100 of these interviews every month. Is that correct?
That's minimum. That's for one particular project.
That's the minimum. Okay. How in the world do you do that?
Various methods. I have a secret sauce, but primarily it's through three areas. One is research. And the benefit of LinkedIn, which is a business connection, Facebook, social media, you can begin to Google and identify a lot of persons through research. Another method is referral. So once we have a connection with one person, then they refer it to something else. And then we try to make a diversity of skill sets. So when a person may have a resume of 100 pages, a person may only have 0 pages, but they both are making a difference. And the thing that we also emphasize is that a lot of times when there's a list, it's competition or it's based upon popularity. There's a difference between a best-selling book or best written. We are more interested in best written than best selling. Because a lot of times a person perhaps is poor in spirit. They live a successful life, a quiet life, but they're really making a tremendous difference. So we try to highlight the ordinary guy who's doing extraordinary things in their community.
Gotcha. And so here, at KA, we always like to plug our students into these different types of opportunities. So moving forward, do you think there might be some opportunities for our students to help you out as you're interviewing these pretty successful individuals and gathering their stories?
Sure. In many ways, we need production persons to help out with production so that we can be able to do it on television. So we have a video form, we have an audio form, and then we have a print form. We're looking for writers, producers. When they see their particular person on television, their news anchor, whatever the case may be, there are hundreds of persons behind the scene making it happen. And in the same process, they can get to know and meet some of the persons that they've always wanted to meet, and this is an opportunity for them to do so.
Wow, so let me get this straight. So you're saying if they might give you a list and say, hey, I want to hear or I want to interview this, that you actually might be able to get them on an interview and have the students in?
Yeah, we're usually 1 or 2 persons away from anybody. So pretty much if they say we want to meet a favorite recording artist who comes to town. Let's say, for example, there is the Soul Music Festival that's coming up in a couple of months. There are artists that's going to appear on the program. They can help us to get in contact with those artists, and 9 times out of 10, we can probably interview a lot of the artists that comes to various shows here in Music City.
And that fits so well within our KA Digital program, which we're launching here. We have Mr. Chuck Moore, who's been going around to our classrooms talking to our students about it. And this is another opportunity for our students just to see. We're talking the real deal. This is not made up stuff.
No. And it's all easy.
Yeah.
All it requires is effort. That's all it requires.
That's good. Well, this is just our first conversation. We didn't get to go too much into your background, but we'll get into that later.
No problem.
But hopefully, as our students and families see this, they will just see how, wow, this is another great opportunity here for Knowledge Academy students and students throughout Nashville.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate the opportunity to be a part of the story here that is making a tremendous difference here in Music City.
That's right. Another edition of KA Digital, and I look forward to our next conversation.
Thank you, sir.
All right.